Hi there, my name's Kirilly and I'm Agent 27 at the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and this is a very special super cosmic new moon in Taurus report for 2017 for the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. So why is this one so super cosmic when they are always super cosmic? It's because in this one I really want to focus on talking about Saturn in Sagittarius, which is stationed retrograde on the galactic center of the Milky Way. Well, that's been the case actually. Like, it's been stationary at least on the galactic center for the last 7 weeks, and will be for another 2.5 weeks or so. So we're really deep into this phase of Saturn in Sagittarius being stationed on the galactic center. But I want to talk about it in some detail through this report, because in the other reports I've been more caught up with Venus retrograde, and so this time I really want to bring things together. On that note, with Venus retrograde, so Venus has gone direct, yay, since the 15th of April. But we're not out of the shadow zone yet, so that's going to go all the way through to the 19th of May. So we're still processing all this Venus stuff. That's our heart stuff, that's our feelings, that's our relationships, you know. So what's happening at this new moon in Taurus is that Venus is in the last degree of Pisces, 29 degrees of Pisces. She's conjunct Chiron still at 27 degrees of Pisces, and they are both making a square out to Saturn at 27 degrees of Sag and the galactic center. So time to talk about this. And interesting, I mentioned the word time because Saturn is the lord of time. Saturn is the Roman name of the planet, but the Greek equivalent is the god Kronos. Kronos meaning time. Also, I'm pretty deep myself in a very powerful ritual that's going for 100 days with the goddess Kali. I'm also in a workshop with Kali. Everything is Kali for me right now. And there's a very strong correspondence between Kali and the planet Saturn, let alone Saturn being on a black hole. So I really want to bring in all this super powerful, amazing esoteric information about the god or the goddess of time, and what that means and how that can be relating to this Chiron and Venus conjunction in Pisces. Before Venus rebirths 2 days after the new moon, so on the 28th of April, she's going to ingress back into Aries, which is like a rebirth for her, which is like a rebirth for all of us in terms of this feminine aspect of our being, Venus. So that's pretty exciting. And yeah, the more she gets going through Aries, yeah, it's going to be better for all of us. Yes. Also, what's interesting, we're in Mercury retrograde, so I haven't even talked much about Mercury retrograde. Mercury is coming to meet Uranus at 24 degrees of Aries and Eris at 23 degrees of Aries, and of course as a conjunction they're going to be trining Saturn in the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sag, so that's all fire. So this is really powerful. And because Mercury is retrograding, it's going to turn direct on May the 3rd, and it'll be at 24 degrees of Aries. So it's like Mercury's coming back down through Uranus to meet Eris, and it's going to slow down so much before it stops and then turns direct, and even then it'll take some time to pick up the pace. So basically we've got this really concentrated energy that's going to last for 3.5 weeks. So we're already in it from the 21st of April through to the middle of May. We're going to have this intense energy of Mercury, whether it's going retrograde or direct, with Uranus and Eris trine Saturn in the galactic center. So in a nutshell, it's truth time. We're going to get this universal injection of truth serum. It's like, oh, Did I say that? Did I start that cataclysm? Did I just, you know, start that earthquake with my words? It's like, you know, but it's actually really beautifully timed. The synchronicity is amazing because as Venus comes into Aries, she rebirths, she's ready to step into the world anew. Hopefully she's healed and rebirthed at the level of her instincts so that she's a much more pure stream of her own truth and being and consciousness. And in this place, Mercury's ready to just tell it like it is. And there's this interesting thing happening too with Mercury at this new moon in Taurus, is that the Mercury is in Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars has just gone into Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury's in Aries, Aries is ruled by Mars, Mars is it's called a mutual reception because both planets are in the signs of the other planet. So this is a really nice correspondence here, which is just double whammy, that we're all going to not just be prepared to speak our minds and just speak it spontaneously, more like a child speaks their mind, just come straight out with the truth. And it can be delightful and entertaining and hilarious, but it can also be like, oh my god, elephant in the room stuff, foot and mouth stuff. But all of that will be perfect and necessary. It's also a great time just to get out there and have lots of social contacts and get with people, and you know, it's just fantastic in Gemini or Mercury land to have that turbo boost from Mars there, which is great after we have after we've had this retrograde period of Venus to sort of come out of our shell a bit and start recommuning with people, you know, practicing being our new selves plus forming whole new relationships. So that's just a little roundup of the aspects. So let's jump in and let's look at these in a little bit more detail. So of course, out of all of that, I hardly even mentioned the new moon in Taurus itself. So the new moon, the sun and the moon in Taurus at 6 degrees is actually not forming any major aspects. So the sun's forming an aspect to the moon to the sun, but nada else. So that's interesting in itself. It's a real sort of standalone, stand on my own 2 feet kind of new moon. And I like these ones, so that kind of reinforces this state of Venus coming direct and coming into Aries. You know, also like the new moon phase, it does last 3.5 days, and Venus will go direct in that new moon phase. So you can just sort of feel this real freshness, this real aliveness, this real alertness. And with Taurus in the picture, this sense of fertility, you know, like a springtime thing, like a new moon, fresh sprouts, you know. So this is really nice energy, and it's standalone. So it's like she's done so much work to, we'll get into the work, but she's done so much work to let go of so many things. The way she's been judging herself, the way she's been listening to external influences and then making all these alterations and modifications on herself, or the way she's been playing herself down or small or low, or maneuvering and manipulating, trying to hedge her way so that she might be safe or she might be loved or something like that. And hopefully we just let go of so much of that, and she can just stand now fresh, live, raw, real, new, and not be so influenced in a way that's not to her highest, you know, good or highest benefit from externalities. So that's something really nice, so fresh, so fertile, so real. So as usual, I encourage you to check out wherever the new moon is happening in your chart, like which house it's in. Each house represents an area of life. So if you know which house the new moon's happening in, you can see an area of life for you that's going to get a nice new burst of energy. And it's Taurus, so it's hands-on, it's sensual. It's the body. It's Mother Earth and all her beautiful abundance and fertility. And it's also the material plane. It's the money, and it's the resources we harbor, and it's also our values and how we value ourselves. So find out where we're getting a new raw live energy in this area of life. And this should be a pretty nice new moon, actually. Very nice on that level, particularly if you can really get out into nature, or really enjoy the body, or really enjoy some sensuous pampering. I'm new, I'm fresh, I'm here. What am I going to do with myself, you know? So it's such an easy leap to want to go into the abundance and beauty and lushness of Mother Nature at this new moon in Taurus. So the new moon in Taurus is disposited, of course, by Venus. She is the ruler of this new moon in Taurus. She's in the final degree of Pisces. So Venus is actually at the 359th degree of the zodiac, which is the final degree of the zodiac. So she's coming to the end of something, like a big time, really completing the journey around something she needed to go back, retrograde back, meet Chiron, squaring Saturn in the galactic center, and then come back. So this is the end. So what is ideal at this point is that we all do our best to surrender everything. Like really let go of every issue around our heart. If we can, do our best to forgive. And with the square out to Saturn and the galactic center, you know, it's like this like cosmic trash compactor. It's not really, but I'm just going to say that just to help you out here. You know, it really is an amazing time to release, you know, release all stories we have from the past. Release all the assumptions that we have made. Release all the expectations that have led to so much stress and disappointment and disease. Just release, release, release. Do it for yourself, for your own well-being and your own healing. Let go. And this strange thing is happening too. I mean, we've been in this period of like, where we've been working with our loves, especially the loves where we can't be met in the love, and our enemies, so we just can't get on the same page to even have a dialogue about anything. Just these crazy situations we've been in, you know, and we've been trying our best to lift the vibration, and whether it's conflict or love, and purify and refine our responses to things to a place of pure unconditional love, you know, because this is what we're trying to do, elevate our being. And now we're at the point where we really just want to sweep clear everything. Okay, done enough processing around all of it, and just like zoom, let it all go. Really surrender to the great cosmos, and know that there's this really strange thing going on around time at the moment. Like, I've talked so much over the last, I guess, year about how so many of the experiences we are having, or we've been having, that there's more to all of it than meets the eye. We've got, at this new moon, Neptune in Pisces is unaspected, which is making it a wild card. But it is also the dispositor of South Node in Pisces, Chiron in Pisces, and Venus in Pisces. So a super powerful subtone of Neptune in Pisces means that all of history, all of time is up, you know. We are really experiencing the, not just the unified field, but potentially the multiverse here. It's like strange parallel realities, parallel universes, from not just this lifetime, from many lifetimes, are just kind of starting to play with us in very strange ways. Particularly the more we can let go. Let go, let go, let go. Just bring our mind back to this steady state of peace, and bring our hearts back to this beautiful state of nothingness, the complete and total bliss of nothingness. Venus in the last degree of Pisces, yes. And in that place, it's like time is bending. Strange things are occurring. Relationship situations that are coming out of other dimensions are showing themselves to us. We're like in like wormholes. We are like time traveling at the moment, all by sitting still and doing nothing. It's pretty cool. Synchronicities, deja vu, strange dreams, strange occurrences of other worlds meeting us in this world. Like, there is so much going on at this level. So if we can really just empty ourselves and be still, we can just sit with this like amazing vortex of time that's moving around us, you know. And with it, if we stay attuned to it, and I think I mentioned that I'm working with Kali, you know, she's the goddess of time, you know, and just be still while she does her cosmic work on us. And that's what's happening with this Saturn square. Saturn is really helping us release all that does not serve us. And same with this healing with Chiron, you know, just letting go of all the veils, all the illusions, all the things that no longer serve us, so that we can be rebirthed in a much more pure form, you know, closer to our true essence, which is what we get to at that 0 degrees Aries point, you know. And this is this exciting liminal zone, you know, between the death and the rebirth. You know, this is where the power is. It's such an amazing time, but I highly encourage you all to be still, but also pay attention to everything. and what can feel like strange dimensional shifts that are very hard to grok at an intellectual or mental level. Exciting. But that's a square. So there's hard work. If especially if you're not doing the work, you need to be able to face this. For a lot of us, you know, I get excited by concepts like void, emptiness, darkness, nothingness, being still, you know, but I know what I've been through in my life to get to the point to be really blissed out in these places. I know for the uninitiated, when you first go into these spaces, they can actually seem like true horror. They can be so frightful, you know. You can imagine walking into like a blackened universe, you know, and being the only one there, you know. Or some people do meditations in black rooms for 10 days or something. What we tend to do as human beings is we will project all our mental projections into this big black cinema, you know, and in that place we will be horrified. We will scare the hell out of ourselves with all our fears and insecurities, and Pluto's hanging out there in Capricorn. It's just gone retrograde, so, you know, we've got a lot of work to do in terms of working with our shadow and all our insecurities. So for some, this time could be quite horrifying and frightening. Potentially people wouldn't have the resources to cope with it, and they can feel depressed or in despair, in some kind of existential agony around this idea of Saturn being on the galactic center. They might feel like they're in free fall. There's nothing there for them. There's things coming out of other dimensions to haunt them. Well, there always is something in this void. Like, if we can just allow this process of clearing all the projections, clearing all this mental blah, 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 realize it is just the mind going and we really don't need it. And if we can just hold ourselves steady and realize that the past is the past, the future is the future, we can't actually access either of those two. We are just stuck. I'm going to use the word stuck or imprisoned because it's Saturn. We are stuck. We are imprisoned with the present moment. We can't escape it. Yet in our minds we'll do all sorts of amazing things to get out of being present, and that's actually what drives us crazy. The thing is, in each and every moment of time, we are invited to step into timelessness. So that means being present. And that is our portal into the eternal. And that's where the true bliss is. But like I said, you know, it can be a process depending where you are in your life. You might not have sat still by yourself. You might not have sat in the dark on your own. You might not have spent a lot of time on your own. You might not have had an experience where you've allowed your psyche to just completely overrun you, annihilate you, until it all just dissipates and goes, and there's nothing left but peace, bliss, and liberation. You know, so we don't know where you're at. I don't know where you're at, But if you're in one of those scarier, dark places, I would say do your best, get the resources around you so you can just go through this as a purging, a karmic cleansing. Do your best to stay still with it and allow it. You can even make so much art through it. You can process it. You can do so much with it. But eventually it can clear out until there is nothing. And that nothing is God. No thing. That's the eternal universe. That is the bliss. So for many of us who've already been through the school of hard knocks again and again and again and again and again and again and again till we've learnt this, to clear the decks and keep the mind as clear and empty as possible at all times, because it's really not serving us most of the time. This should be quite an amazing time of initiation. And that's what Venus has been doing. She has been on an initiatory path, not just with this retrograde from Aries into Pisces, but even the retrograde she did 2 years ago through Leo. At that point, she went all the way to 1 degree of Virgo, and then she retrograded back through Leo. And I spoke 2 years ago about how she came to meet 1 degree of Virgo because Regulus was there, the fixed star Regulus. And I talked about how the fixed star Regulus going into Virgo, if you want, go back and find that video because it's an amazing story. But she goes to meet Regulus, and Regulus is like the king that has abdicated the throne, has gone, I'm not doing this old world way of being successful as a king. I'm not enamored anymore by power and prestige and wealth and status and domination and control. This is not the place of the king anymore. That era is over. Regulus has left the sign of Leo after 2,160 years or something and is now in Virgo. It's time to enter back into the realm of Dionysus, into the earth, and to lead more as a shaman, lead more as an earth-based healer, wise one, educator, you know. So this is the king becoming like an earth priest, an earth guru, and Venus came to meet him, and then she went back into Leo, as if like the descent of Inanna. She went into the underworld and she released all her attachments to all her queenly things, all her jewelry and her beauty and her status and her reputation and her gorgeousness and all of that, because she's clearing out the attachments so that she can show up at that 1 degree Virgo point to be in service. And she wanted to devote herself to the new king, because the new king, the new way to be a king is to be a servant, which is this amazing paradox of the time. So back here to 2 years ahead now, right where we are now. And this initiation is becoming more and more complete. Venus is ready to devote herself in Pisces, being a devotee at the level of the heart, becoming a devotee of heart consciousness, compassion, unconditional love, universal love. She's also being called to be a priestess, step into her power as a spiritual leader, you know, and to do whatever she does to re-harmonize the world, to heal the world with this ray of love. Divine devotee, divine priestess, and divine bride. And this is the aspect of her that's seeking a partner, that's seeking a sacred union, a union that will provide the path for her to enlightenment. So this is super powerful. This is the initiation at the level of Mary Magdalene, you know, really powerful. And there's Saturn there putting the pressure on. So this is not necessarily an easy birth. It's actually been really, really hard for her, because she's had to face all the things that have been obstacles or blocks or challenges or frustrations or pains or karmic disturbance, old karmic conditions, old family karmic conditions, everything that's blocked her from loving unconditionally. you know, loving herself unconditionally, loving beings, and loving all situations unconditionally. So this is the initiation she's coming through, and getting ready to rebirth in Aries, which is going to be this whole new deal. We're going into fire. She's like, all right, got that. Now what are we doing, right? Need a new wardrobe, need to get out in the world, need to call some people, you know. Venus in Aries is getting ready to go. But she's like, I'm doing things my way, proudly my way. I'm very happy to be me, thanks. And I'm good. I'm down with the whole eternity, the whole fabric of the universe. I'm down, I'm open, and I'm willing to step up into my power. Yeah, and meet me in this new world. So, Mercury retrograde conjunct Uranus and Eris. Haven't talked about them for a while. Uranus, of course, sudden change agent. In Aries, revolutionary changes. And Eris, who's the goddess of strife and discord. So I've been talking about her more positive aspects. I just made them up because this is what we do as evolutionary astrologers. We're getting past all this deterministic stuff, and we're starting to look at the multiverse. You know, when we talk astrology to people, when I do one-on-one readings with you, I don't tell you this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. I say this is what's present. Here are the options. Here are the potentials. Here are the myriad universes that you can inhabit. And I speak to you about them because that's what we actually are facing, you know. We are collectively co-creating not just our own reality, but this collective reality. So, yes, so Eris, she can be jealous and angry and just feel really pissed off that she's been left out, you know, and she's in exile somehow. But we've been getting beyond that with all the work we've been doing with Saturn in Sagittarius, getting to the point where we're like, you know, if I need to stand alone, stand my own ground to speak my truth, then so be it, because I'm good. I'm down with the eternal of all being. I've discovered that by being present, I can, you know, capture pure bliss. It's like, I don't need, you know, what others say, what they think about me, what they think about my actions isn't important anymore. I come from truth, I come from source, I'm complete in that. So, you know, now saying what I need to say, doing what I need to do isn't such a scary thing. I've been working on my dark side, I've been working on my shadow and all my insecurities. Everything's been leading to this point. Plus now Venus has gone direct. She's ready to do her thing. The moon and the sun are unaspected, it's standalone. So it's like, you know, there's about 5 factors weighing really heavily here on all of our evolution, is that we are ready to be in our truth. And with Mercury retrograde coming through, it's more an internal process at this point, where we're meeting ourselves in our truth. Woohoo! Wow, the most important relationship of all, you know, meeting ourselves, or internally meeting the goddess within, meeting Shiva within, meeting Shakti within, meeting the eternal within, like whatever you need to describe as the source of your being, your true divine self. So we're coming home to that, speaking to ourselves, speaking to our truth, and finally admitting that to ourselves. How exciting is that? But that's also going to create, that's the chaos and strife and sudden change and revolution. It's like, oh my God, my whole world's revolutionized because I just realized who I am, or my truth, you know, or no to that and yes to this, you know. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Yes, so yeah, life paths can be getting totally torn up here. Obviously, lots of relationships have been breaking down through this point, and a lot of them are coming to completion because we're all shifting gears, you know, in terms of that multiverse. We're realizing, oh, you know, I don't just have to travel this line anymore. I don't just have to go to jobs because society told me that's important for me, or my family set me up to do this. I can actually tap into my truth, and I can open myself up to the unknown. And that's a really huge thing that's happening at the moment too, with Saturn on the galactic center. There's this really strong sense, you know, also with all the Piscean planets, that we're not to know. You know, I'm very psychic. I have no problem at traveling all over the place in time, in dimensions and things. And I've been getting so many signals from my guides and all sorts of stuff. It's like, don't look, don't go there, don't even try. Just get into the fact that there's this big, wide, black unknown in front of you, and you're like a surfer, and you are riding every moment full power, you know, and it's just like this amazing, exciting, enlivening experience to really be in the moment and know that we don't know anything, we don't know what's coming, you know, all bets are off, everything's new and awakened again. Exciting times. And of course, when Mercury goes direct on the 3rd of May, then it will be time to come out and speak our truth. Yes, so things will get interesting. Things will start to move very quickly in our lives from the 3rd of May. My goodness. And we'll be out of the shadow period of the Venus retrograde by the 19th of May. So May is going to be very interesting. Like, and the connections that are going to be going on from this new moon, like I said, with that mutual reception between Mercury and Mars, are going to be like lightning bolts, like super fast. And we've got all this amazing, beautiful stuff going on in the multiverse where different realities are going to be shifting in, and all sorts of odd, strange, paranormal coincidences and synchronicities, and ooh, it's so exciting. Anyway, that's what's happening at this super cosmic time at this new moon in Taurus. So I think I'll round up there. I hope you're getting the vibe and getting excited by it all. And also, if you would like a astrology reading with me, you're welcome to contact me on Facebook at Kirilly Cosmic Space Priestess, or you can write to me on my email if you don't have Facebook. I'm Kirilly at healingwithimagination.com.au. Also, if you're enjoying my videos, you're welcome to come to my video channel at YouTube, Kirilly Cosmic Space Priestess, and subscribe. So until I do the full moon videos as well at my own page, so until 2 weeks away, ciao for now.